Before this trip back in the fall of 2017, I received a mysterious note inside a fortune cookie while enjoying some Thai curry. Little did I know that this would be the only fortune cookie that predicted something correctly in my life. Fast forward to today, where I awaken early at 6 a.m. in Da Nang to the rumblings of my woman getting her hair and makeup done. As she was doing her business, then so shall I. I'd love to appreciate the view from the bathroom, but I can't twist my upper body 180 degrees. But I'll give you a real proper view anyway. Oh, and because it's daylight outside, I can actually see that we do have a little bit of an ocean view. And looking in the other direction, we can see some mountains. And back to my early morning routine. As the woman continued to get ready, I relaxed a little bit by watching camera reviews on YouTube. But my fat jacket came in from the lady from last night. Time to try it on and pray that it fits, because I have no other choice at this point. And thank Buddha it fits me like a glove. And we're off. Our photographer, Bao, is actually the husband of our hair and makeup artist, and his crew came to pick us up. But uh-oh, there's one more thing we have to take care of before we head to our first location. Man, I left my nice dress shoes in Saigon. This means we had to quickly look for a store so we can buy new ones. I'm not very picky, so I guess this number will do for today, although it's rather long and pointy, and a bit tight. These shoes would later prove to be problematic for me. Cost? About 2 million dong, or about $100 US. Okay, now we're finally on our way. Remember my fortune cookie note? We actually are heading to the mountains. At least we'll be shooting around there. But these aren't your typical mountains. This is Song Tra Mountain, also known as Monkey Mountain in Da Nang. It's a tourist attraction because there are literally monkeys that roam free around here. And although we did see some monkeys running around, I was unable to capture any with my camera. I guess this is where President Obama ate? Sure, I guess. And after driving around and around the mountain, we have finally arrived at our first location for our photo shoot. We're in our first location, but I'm looking for monkeys. I want monkeys to shoot. But first, right next door, we picked up some quick snacks and drinks since we had no breakfast. Going down the steps, we saw a beautiful view of the ocean, although this entire day was cloudy and cold. But hey, first world problems. As our photographer and his assistant got ready for our shoot, I couldn't help but notice that apparently this is a hotspot for other engagement photos. As the woman got started with solo photos, I became mesmerized by the enchanting waves of the ocean. So I set my camera down and tried to film some of it, when all of a sudden a wave snuck up on me faster and closer than I had ever predicted, and came crashing into me as I knelt near the camera. Don't worry, the camera survived, but my legs and pants did not. Man, did I feel like a schmuck. I profusely apologized to the photographer for the stupidity. I also lost my socks to the wetness and sand, and rather than dealing with the annoying squishiness, I decided to toss them all together. Doing this, in addition to my tight shoes, would eventually become a problem later today. But alas, the show must go on, and they proceeded to finish the woman's solo portion of the shoot. As the shooting continued, we saw more couples arriving and awaiting their turn for what must be this location's cliché angles. Now this is starting to feel like the local park where you see every mom attempting to take their kids' high school senior portraits. Whoops, time to stop filming. Now it's our turn.
Hả? Ôi, thì ra luôn hả?
But there were so many photographers today and we just had to wait our turn in the windy cold. A spot opened up, and we finally climbed down to get much closer to the ocean to do our couples portion of this shoot. After we took our pictures by the ocean, we went to a different location in the fields for our next set.
We are moving location.
For this second part of the shoot, we drove a little ways out to a secluded field. After this portion, we finally took a breakfast break nearby at an outdoor makeshift instant noodle stand. Hey, don't judge it by its looks. Just as most Vietnamese street food, or should I say in this case, mountain food, it's cheap and delicious. While we were finishing eating, the woman was being prepared for her new outfit for our next shoot location. Man, this was so good I got myself a second serving. From the instant noodle stand, we proceeded to walk deeper into the fields until we saw more water and a dock.
Đẹp quá.
And apparently it's another hot spot for wedding and engagement photos. Aw man, you mean to tell me we have to go on this thing and float out in the water? What if I fall? Apparently it was steady enough and I made it, thereby not having to soak my pants again. And after this third look, we finally get a break, about an hour's worth, so we went back to the hotel to relax a bit. But not before taking a group selfie. Although it's nice to change back into some relaxed clothing, I was especially happy about taking off these super tight shoes that were starting to dig into my heels. While we had the time, I did my own impromptu shoot with the woman on the balcony. Well, our 1 hour break ended quickly, and it's time to head back out, this time to the beach. This was in the middle of the afternoon, and it was quite windy and getting colder, which would explain the lack of people there. Despite the weather, it's nothing a little bit of Photoshop couldn't fix. After the beach photo shoot, we had to walk across the street to wash our sandy little feet. And then we are back on the road for our third and final act of our engagement photo shoot day. After the beach, we drove about 45 minutes to our last but not least destination, the historic tourist city of Hoi An. This city is popular for its Old Town area, where its buildings have been successfully preserved going back hundreds of years. In some ways, it's like stepping back in time with a few modernizations and a ton of people, including white tourists. But Hoi An is also known for its beautiful hanging lanterns at night, giving a great romantic ambiance to the area. And speaking of lanterns, before we even do the final leg of our engagement shoot, we stopped at a local restaurant to have an early dinner. This place specializes in chicken dishes. After dinner, we head towards Old Town, next to the river. Oh, gee, no surprise. More couples doing photo shoots. We do some last-minute touch-ups as I snap a few photos of the area itself. The fun part was, at this moment, we were right next to an elementary school that was getting out. Time to go shooting. Crossing the bridge over the river, we can already see how popular this area is with tourists from all over the world. We couldn't help but stop for a few moments so that we could take pictures for ourselves. We took some walking photos, as candid as we could act, and then we found a nice little narrow alley with yellow walls to shoot in. Again, every location we went, we had to deal with other photographers before us. And once again, it's our turn. And while the woman went to take her solo pictures first, I was so mesmerized by the soft moss along the wall. Onward to the next location in the block. And more walking and pretending not to notice the camera.
Nhìn nhau đã đi, nhìn nhau đi, nhìn nhau đi.
We had to keep in mind that I'm still not wearing socks. Remember, I trashed those after they got soaking wet with sand, so we had to remember not to show my feet too much in the sitting positions. After shooting in the heart of Old Town, we walked back over to the river and tipped one of the boat people to take us out onto the water to take a few shots, a seemingly popular thing to do with couples, as expected. We paid the lady 150,000 dong, or about $7 US. A popular custom here in Hoi An is to light little lanterns and set it afloat on the river.
And get rid of all these lights. Ui.
All the walking this evening is really starting to take a toll on my feet. Not the walking itself, but remember when I said the shoes and lack of socks would be problematic? Yep, still digging deeper into my heels with every step and squishing my toes. For the final part of our shoot, we wandered back into the streets where our photographer Bao wanted to shoot us with Hoi An's trademark lanterns. During this portion of the photo shoot, hunger started to hit me again as I glanced over and saw street food vendors, but just a few more shots left. And we finally wrapped up. In the van on the way back to the hotel, I finally took off these goddamn shoes that have been torturing me all day. I doubt even wearing thin dress socks would have helped much. Despite that first world problem in a third world country, the long day that started at 6 a.m. was a great and important life memory for us. Thank you for spending this day with us, photographer Bao, his hair and makeup artist wife Gi, his assistant Yu, and our driver dude. It's now about 8 p.m. back at our hotel, and I still felt like it was too early to call it an evening. Knowing that we had another big day tomorrow at Bana Hills, we went back out to, yes, the night market again, to purchase the woman a better coat for the cold. Plus, it's fun. After a little bit of walking around and bargaining, we finally found something that fit the woman for tomorrow. Oh, and how about some cheap walking shoes while we're at it? Women love shoes. On the way back to the hotel, we finally satisfied our latest hunger with a nice street bowl of hot pho. Oh wait, I just saw a sweet Ba Bien Ngoc snack cart. I'm allowed to have this final dessert to end this day. Onward to tomorrow.